By now, a lot of you know that the compact SUV is king, especially in Canada where it's been the #1 segment for at least the last couple of years. Well, there's a new segment that's emerged, and that's the subcompact SUV class. This is Nissan's entry into that hot new class. It's called the Qashqai. And just in case you're thinking that they're following some of their competitors like the Honda HR-V, the Toyota CHR, and the Mazda CX-3, just to name a few, you might be wrong because, yes, this is going to be a new model for North America for 2017, but the Qashqai has been sold since 2007 in other markets like in Europe. This here is Generation 1 Qashqai, and this is Generation 2. And in order to give you guys a real sneak peek of what's to come, we've come to London, England to find out more about it. Our first stop is Nissan's European Design Center, where we learn a little bit more about the Qashqai's history and its success.
The Qashqai was born in 2007, and at that time we saw a real gap in the market because there were two types of vehicles. One was the conventional C-segment hatchback, where customers liked the cheap running costs, the flexibility of the car, but they were missing some additional features like the rugged SUV safetiness that you get from a higher segment vehicle, and also the high equipment level of that car as well. So what we did was broke down the barriers between those two segments and created the C-segment crossover segment, which is what you see today, and it's where Qashqai was born. And this car was kind of like the difficult second album. It's the evolution of that first generation, taking on board the key strengths that we had of the model. We took the one big wow of the first generation and improved 100 wows on the second generation. To be honest with you, when we launched the car, there were lots of hesitant people, not only externally but also within the company, and the car has just grown strength to strength. We now sell over 250,000 Qashqais a year within Europe, and we've now expanded into Russia. So we have a factory in Russia that builds cars specifically for that market. We also sell cars within China, and now we're pleased to say we're going to be expanding into North America with this product as well. I think there's a real gap in the market. I think this segment is growing in Canada, and yeah, I think this car's going to be a great success and hopefully fulfill those unmet needs of those customers.
On the inside of the Qashqai, for a subcompact SUV, it's amazingly roomy. I did sit in the back, by the way, for about a half hour. I wouldn't say it's plenty of room, but for this class of vehicle, it's sufficient for sure. All around, you get very, very premium touch materials, everything, soft touch materials all over the place, but it does have a very upscale feel. You have your center console here, which is gonna be the same, because this obviously is not the Canadian model. First of all, this is a right-hand drive, but we're gonna get the same console. We're gonna get a different steering wheel. We're gonna have that nice D-style steering wheel, and you ride a little higher. Now this is a little bit shorter than the Rogue, but definitely larger than small four-door sedan. Now you can option this however you want. This one's equipped with this humongous panoramic roof. It doesn't open, it does have a shade that goes over, but the advantage of this is it makes it feel even bigger. We're very fortunate that Nissan Europe provided us with a Qashqai to drive. And this one happens to be a left-hand drive version, similar of what we're going to get in North America, but we're driving on the left-hand side of the road in the UK, which is kind of odd, so we're not going to push it too hard. So what's going to power this? Well, the Europeans get diesel engines, but for the start, North America, we're going to get a 2-liter direct injected gas engine, and that puts out 140 horsepower and 147 foot-pounds of torque. That's matched to either a 6-speed manual transmission or the CVT Xtronic transmission that has the shiftable feature as well. Now, either the manual or the CVT can come with front-wheel drive, or you can opt for the all-wheel drive option as well if you go with the CVT. So riding in the Qashqai, it's a great size. You sit up a little bit higher. A lot of people like that. Visibility is very good, but the overall size is perfect, especially if you live in the city, whether you live in London, Vancouver, Toronto. You know how tight those parking spots can be, and you know, just being able to do a U-turn. So this does fit the bill very well for that.
So the Qashqai is actually the ideal vehicle for people that live in the city. It's the perfect size in terms of maneuvering into tight urban spaces, and it has a lot of utility in terms of the cargo space, but also in a compact size. And the individuals that will be buying this car will primarily be before they have children, whereas the Rogue is a little bit larger and has more cargo space, and for individuals that tend to have children and need the extra space.
So it rides very sporty, and it has a very flat ride. It uses a vehicle dynamic control system, and what that does, for instance, when we're going over bumps, when the car's settling down after a big bump, it's not just using the suspension, it's using the gas and minute inputs of different brakes to level out the car, which gives you a lot more confidence driving it in all situations. Like I said before when we were talking about the interior, you have a real upscale feel, but you can really outfit this however you want and make it a real premium vehicle.
The Qashqai has a lot of the features that you'd see on more larger or upscale vehicles, but in a smaller car package. Some of the features that I think that are going to really appeal to Canadians are all-wheel drive availability, as well as a lot of cold weather features. Standard heated seats, as well as available heated steering wheel and remote engine start, and as well a lot of safety features, such as forward emergency braking with pedestrian detection, as well as active cruise control.
All right. We know that the Qashqai has been very successful in other markets around the world, and it's most likely to be a big hit in North America. But the question that I really want answered is, what does Qashqai mean?
Well, Qashqai is actually a very difficult name, but the history of it, it's a Bedouin tribe. And this Bedouin tribe are nomadics. You know, it epitomises the adventure of their lifestyle, and actually it was really in keeping with the nomadic lifestyle. The adventurer were really key words that encompass onto this product, and it was an ideal name for the car. And it was a risk to start with, but actually it's been a great success, and I think it's a fantastic name for this car.
I think this vehicle will do very well for the North American market, especially in Canada. Why? Well, if you want something that rides a little higher, you have the utility, and of course you get the all-wheel drive capability for our Canadian winters. It's perfect. At this time, there's been no confirmed pricing for Canada, but look for the Qashqai in your local dealership sometime between May and June 2017. If you like the video, hit the thumbs up, and if you want to see more everyday reviews, hit the subscribe button. Thanks for watching.